And also, speaking of working with like big time personalities and big time stars, what was it like getting to work on the film The Big Year with like Steve Martin and some of those people? Like, that's insane. He's one of my favorite actors.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that movie was really cool because I almost didn't go to that audition because I happened to not like really be feeling well that day. Like I was coming down with a cold and I was just like kind of out of it. And I got this audition. I was like, and when I auditioned for it, I didn't even know who was a part of it. I didn't really know what it was for. It was like one of those where they were keeping it very like secret. And I only had like, they only made me do like a line. Like I had one line for the whole thing. And I was like, what's the point? Like, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just like a small thing. Like, I won't go. And then my boyfriend at the time was like, oh, well, you know what? You should just go. I'll drive you. And then that way you can just relax in the car and then go in and then, come out. And I was like, fine. So I did it. It was fine. Then, went home, didn't feel great. And then I think it was like 2 weeks later, they're like, my agent calls like, hey, like you got the part like in the big year. And I was like, what? And she was in the big year that you booked it. And I was like, what was that? I don't even remember doing that. Oh, it's like that audition. And then I had to go back in my emails to look at it. I was like, oh, that one. She's like, yeah. So you'll be working with Steve Martin and I was just like, whoa. And what's really cool about that movie is I worked with Paul Campbell. He played my husband in that movie. So he played Steve Martin's son. And this was like in 2012, I think it was 2011, something like that. So like, this is like way before our Hallmark days. And yeah. And I just remember Paul and I, like at one point we were in the green room and it was me, Paul, who was like on his laptop. And then Steve Martin had brought his banjo in the green room that day. Yeah. And then it was, and Mary Beth Williams, who was playing Paul's mom, Steve's wife. And I was playing Paul's wife in it. And I just remember he like took out his banjo and he's like, hey, do you guys mind if I play a little bit? And we're like, and Paul and I looked at each other. We were like, no. Yeah, no problem. That's fine. Like just playing it like no big deal. Who cares? Who cares that Steve Martin is playing his infamous banjo in the green room while we await to be on set? Like, what is life? It was a pretty cool moment that I remember one time at lunchtime, Paul and I were like eating together. He's across from me. And then suddenly Jack Black, who I didn't have any scenes with, but happened to be on set that day, came around with his like tray of food or whatever. And he just came around and he just looked at me. He's like, hey, is it cool if I sit here? It was like cafeteria style, like tables. And I just was like, no. And then I just looked at Paul and I was just like, sitting next to me. I was like, whoa, he's sitting next to me, It was cool. Everybody was very, very nice. And it was, it's kind of one of those surreal moments where sometimes in life, certain things are meant for you and it just works out,